Welcome to Calcast, your Create International podcast. God Network News, where we give you a new perspective
on events happening in our world today.
This is GNN.
This is God Network News, episode 234. Welcome, GNN fans, to another episode of God Network News, the podcast that tells you what God's doing around the world. Not what CNN tells you, but what GNN tells you is going on in the world. If you're tired of listening to all of that crisis network news and you want to hear what God's doing, well, give us a listen. Pastor Samuel, you were mentioning that you're making good use of the Kulumi devices. I believe that we got you some of the smaller Kulumi devices and then the larger one that has a radio in it and a torch or a lamp in it as well. So which one of those two devices have you found that has been more effective for you?
Okay. Both of them are effective, but the larger one is more effective because of the coverage. The larger one, they can sit down in a family and listen to it at the same time. Unlike the smaller one, which may not be able to reach. And the Fulani, one man can have up to 15 children,
yes,
3 wives, and all of that. So the larger one have more capacity and covers more audience.
Okay, that's very good. That's very good. There are two different versions of the larger Kulumi device. One can take an SD card you can put inside. One has it already inside the unit. Which one do you think that you could use the most? The one you can add an SD card or the one that has the memory already in it?
The one that has the memory already in it is very good, because that will help them not to be able to put other things inside.
All right.
But the advantage of the one that have the external memory card is that you can easily add as much you want to add. Yeah. So because when my media team we're trying to download from the internal, it took longer time.
Right.
Yeah. But if you have the external SD card, you can do that anytime you go to the field. You share it with them. They include with whatever they have.
That's very good. That's very good. I remember you mentioning to me that the information that you put on the Kulumi devices was not only audio Bible, but some teachings that you had done for a radio. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Okay. There is this radio channel in Kaduna that is called Alheri Radio. Alheri means grace. But incidentally, the owner of that radio channel is a Muslim. So,
wow.
So that radio channel have a very large audience of the Muslims. So about 15 years ago, I was on Alheri Radio for 4 years. I was always teaching in Hausa, teaching topics that I know that are questions in the heart of the Muslims, even though I never mentioned Islam, I never mentioned Muslim, I never mentioned Quran, but I knew my target audience. So I have had series. One of the series that I had was on the love of God in Hausa, Kauna Allah. And that series we took 25 weeks talking about the love of God. Who we were, how God loved us, how to respond on the love of God, and how to share the love of God and all of that. So after some years, every time, of course, whenever I finish the recordings, the Alheri Radio will give me a CD. But I never even knew that I was going to get used to. I'm going to be in need of it until 4 years ago, one of our staff in the office was cleaning the and he saw this bunch of CDs. And he said, these are CDs. I said, yes. So when I check, I now saw the Alheri radio. I said, okay, can we try them? As God will have it, all the CDs are fine. So when this Kulimi came, we downloaded all those very series of how to know Christ. That's in Hausa. Then the 25 series of the love of Christ. We were able to download all of that. So, and in each series, every day, we also teach you how, okay, we lead people to Christ. Okay, you have heard about the love of Christ, you need to respond to it, and this is what to do to respond to it. So in that very series, when you play it, you are also asked if you want to respond to that love of Christ. So then you say the sinner's prayer. Okay. So you don't need to do much. In the Kulumi, you are taken from point 1 to the point of accepting Christ as your Lord and Savior. So 25 weeks, we just keep building on. So you have 25 series, teachings in series, that you start from one point and get to a particular point. And each of the series is 25 minutes.
Wow, very good. I remember some of the folks here at the Catalyst Camp that have used these units before. They've also put DMM, Disciple Making Movement material, how to start a DBS, another home fellowship, and how to multiply that. Do you think that sometime you might also be using some of that on some of these devices?
Yes, we are already working on having the Hausa version. By now, we don't have the Hausa audio teachings on DMM. Okay. So, but we are in our ministry already working on that. Our ministry just translated the coach's manual to Hausa. Oh, right. So I even came with a few copies here. So we are working on doing the Hausa version of the DMM teachings. So when we are done with the Hausa version, we'll also do the Fulani version of the DMM teaching. So for now, we don't have the Hausa resource, the audio resource for the DMM, but we have gotten the book, so we're going to be using the book to produce the audio.
Very good. That's very good. You're listening to God Network News Podcast with your host, Cal Curtis. Look up our website at godnetworknews.com. Yeah, so Carol, do you have any questions for Pastor Samuel?
Well, you've done a wonderful work, the Lord. So what are some of your ambitions now after you've come from this camp and learned some new things and been challenged? What is the next step in your ministry?
Thank you so much. The next step in our ministry is we want to be more intentional in finding the persons of peace.
Very good.
Then having found them, from there we also begin to look for leaders among them. Because one of the issues that came up, that stood out for me, is that there wouldn't be movement without leaders.
Absolutely.
So we will be intentional from the persons of peace. We'll look for leaders. Then we'll also be committed to coaching the leaders. Very good. So coaching is also an issue that I've written down, that when we return back to Nigeria, we'll be very much committed to that. Then thirdly, we are also looking at taking usually what we do, we bring them to Kaduna, then do the DMM training, then ask them to return back to their various fields, because we are working among 17 different people groups in Nigeria. So, but one of the strategy that is in my mind, returning back to Nigeria, is not just bringing them, do the DMM training, then ask them to go and domesticate. We are also looking at going to the fields, gathering the coaches, then doing the training right there in the field, and also observe to see them obeying what they have been taught.
Wow, that's very
So these are some of the plans that I have, or we have, when we return back to Nigeria, moving forward.
That's amazing. Now, you mentioned that you were working with, is it 17 different people groups?
Yeah.
What are those people groups you're working with?
They are found in the northern part of Nigeria. And the northern part of Nigeria, is the only part in Nigeria that still have 43 unreached people groups.
Wow.
All the 43 unreached people groups are found in the northern part of Nigeria. Wow. And that is where I live. I'm also from the north. I'm from Kaduna State. So that is our context. So we are working among the Kambari people. The Kambari are found both in Niger and Kebbi State. Before we started engaging the Kambari people 5, 6, 7 years back, they were still not wearing clothes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but today, to the glory of God, we have 22 churches that are multiplying themselves among the Kambari people group. And I'm not talking of a gathering of 10, 20 people. Some of those churches have over 100 people that comes together every Sunday, every Wednesday, and they also have different DBS classes going on. Then we also are working among the Dukawa.
Okay.
The Dukawa also they are found in Niger State. Niger State is the largest state by landmass in Nigeria. Niger State have over 76,000 kilometers square in Nigeria. So they have so many tribes also in Niger. So the Dukawa are found in Niger and Kebbi State. So we have been working among them the past 10 years. We have churches that are multiplying churches. Initially, when we plant the churches, we also hand them over to other ministries to continue from there. But under our ministry at the moment, we have 15 churches among the Dukawa people, and the number is still counting because they are still reproducing themselves. We are also working among the Gbagi people. The Gbagi people group are found in Kaduna State, they are found in Niger State, they are found in Abuja, that's the federal capital territory of Nigeria. They are also found in Nasarawa State, they are found in Plateau State and Kogi State. So we are working among the Gbagi people group, and incidentally, my wife also is from among them.
Oh, right. That's
so that is the first place I've worked as a missionary.
Wow,
and God rewarded me with a wife from among them.
Wow.
Esther by name. Then we are also working among the Jew people. The Jew people are found in Kaduna State. That's my tribe. The Jew people are found in Kaduna State, the southern part of Kaduna State. Then we are working among the Jumbuna people. The Jumbuna people are found in Bauchi State. The Bauchi State in Nigeria have the largest number of unreached people group in Nigeria. Out of the 43 unreached people group in Nigeria, 18 are found in Bauchi State.
Wow.
So when we started working among the Jumbunawa people, the converts, the disciples from the Jumbunawa were the ones that moved the work to the Miawa people. So, and today we have more churches planted among the Miawa people than what we have among the Jumbunawa people.
Wow, so that's an amazing example of a people group, an unreached people group that has a movement started, and that movement then jumped to the other people group.
Exactly.
And it's growing even more than the previous one. That's amazing.
More. Because at the moment we have 4 churches among the Jumbuna, while among the Miawa we have 15 of them. And the number is growing by the day. But the work started from the disciples, or by the disciples from the Jumbunawa. Then we are also working among the Karia people. The Karia also are found in Bauchi State. That work is still at the pioneer state. We are still doing DBS, and God is giving us persons of peace among the career people. Then we are working among the low power people group. As at the last 3 years, they were the last unengaged, unreached people group in Nigeria.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we went for NEMA meeting. NEMA is Nigerian Evangelical Mission Association, which is the umbrella body for all the mission agencies and churches that are missional in Nigeria, with over 151 different agencies and denominations. So 3 years ago, we had an annual general meeting, and the issue came up about this one unengaged unreached people group. So in that meeting, the challenge was thrown: which ministry will be willing to go confront this Goliath? So I sat down, I was calculating, thinking of other ministries and denominations, but I had the leading in my spirit: go and do that.
you enjoyed this episode, please consider donating to help us continue to bring exciting stories fresh from the field. Visit our website at godnetworknews.com and select the PayPal link on the right side of the page, or consider becoming a Patreon partner to receive access to more valuable materials exclusive to our members.